On Larry King Now, the hilarious Eric Stonestreet.
And it always surprises me, because I'll read something on the page and think like, really, well, this is what we're gonna do? And then always somebody comes up and like, you're not gonna believe it, I did the exact same thing. And I think that's where the writers are really, brilliant. I always hated the word weird as a kid. When somebody calls somebody weird, I always think, well, that's a reflection on the person calling someone weird, because I think weird is a lazy word. And if my parents had thought I was weird as a kid, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to legendary broadcaster Larry King. I have a dirty, dark sense of humor.
You wanted to be a clown?
Yeah, well, there you go, right there. I wanted to be a clown.
Plus,
that's what bums me out about this whole clown rage and people wanting to scare people, is because to be a clown and to want to entertain people, it comes from this great...
Do kids get scared?
Now they do.
Really?
Oh, it drives me crazy. Don't get me started on this, Larry.
It's all next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. He's back. Eric Stonestreet, the two-time Emmy-winning star of ABC's longtime top-rated show Modern Family, currently wrapping up its 8th season. The finale will air May 17th. And Eric is wearing a new hat as host of The Toy Box, the invention competition series that premiered April 7th. It airs Fridays at 8 p.m. on ABC. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Nice to see you, Eric.
Thank you, Larry.
All right, what's the story? You have not signed a contract for the 9th season of Modern Family?
No, we haven't.
And why not, Eric?
Well, I should say, as of right this moment, we have not signed a contract. I don't know what the future holds, but everybody's hopeful and pretty confident that we'll be back for a 9th season and hopefully a 10th season.
Why not? It's hysterical.
Yeah, and I think it's still really, really great. I mean, there obviously are people that think, oh, in the 9th or 8th season of a TV show that it's gone downhill, but, I think our writers are still delivering top-notch stuff.
Who is the star?
Of Modern Family? Well, I think when the show started, it was Ed O'Neill, because everybody knew Ed from Married with Children.
He was the one that had been on other shows.
But the neat thing about our show is we've always just kind of thought of ourselves as very much an ensemble. We all carry the same amount of the comedy and the weight and the workload, because we shoot the show so modularly that we're all there about the same amount of time. But I think we're all just equally great.
Which leads to, are you all paid the same?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, the kids are a different deal. The other ones are the kids.
I mean, the kids have grown up now.
Yeah. But they're on their own.
But the adults on Modern Family.
Yeah, the adults are. Yes.
You make the same as.
Yes.
So when you negotiate, do you negotiate as a group?
I mean, in a sense, yeah.
Don't you have individual agents?
We all have individual agents, but we all kind of also agree that, none of us are really going back to work for anything less than the rest of everybody. I mean, because none of us think that way. It's not like anyone stepping out and saying, I want more because.
Wasn't there a year once where you almost walked?
We did. It was, and it was right before I came to your show the first time. We had a conversation about it. Yeah, we did. We had to, it's just so uncomfortable and awkward, but
Well, you're entitled.
Yeah, I mean, yes, we are, and we are, but it was rough, and we had to sort of file a brief against the studio for an illegal contract.
Do you enjoy playing gay?
Well, I enjoy playing the character, yeah, for sure. I love, that they give me all those sorts of things to do. I love what they, give Cam and Mitch to do. So we find ourselves in such farcical situations, but people inevitably will come up to me, and it always surprises me, because I'll read something on the page and think like, really, this is what we're going to do? And then always somebody comes up and like, you're not going to believe it, I did the exact same thing. And I think that's where the writers are really, brilliant, is they are able to, tell the story of these crazy, unbelievable things that happen to all of us, but because we're living them, we don't stop and really think about it until we see them dramatized.
Every guest we ask this, we might as well ask you before we go to break. What do you think of President Trump?
Oh gosh, well, that's a great question just to go to break on, because you can sum it up in just a quick second. I really don't know. I really don't know.
Don't know negatively or don't know?
I mean, I think there's tons of negative things to say. It's shocking to me that he is the President of the United States.
We'll discuss Eric's turn as host of a new competition show, The Toy Box. Sounds terrific. We'll talk about it right after the break. We're back with Eric Stonestreet. Okay, tell me about The Toy Box. It sounds terrific. Adults invent things and kids judge.
Yeah, so...
Tell me how it works.
Well, you know, you have these people that are super passionate about toys that bring in their toys that sometimes they've been working on for 30 years. And they meet some men.
Invent toys.
Yeah, they're toy inventors. Some that have had things go to market, some that haven't. Amateurs, professionals, and they bring them in and they pitch them to 3 adults. Toy expert, Dylan Lauren, who owns Dylan's Candy Bar, and Jen Tan, who works at Pixar. And if they get past those 3 people, and they're really looking to see if it's a viable, like a real toy that can be made by the great toy company Mattel, and if it's safe. If it gets past them, then they come into the toy box. And inside the toy box, it will be determined by the judges if that toy wins each episode moving on to the finale. And those judges are 4 kids. So you have
4 kids every week.
Same 4 kids. So you have a 7-year-old telling a person that has been working on a doll for 30 years that your doll is creepy and we're not moving it on.
And Mattel will
make
the winner?
Yeah, Mattel made the toy. It will come out to market the day the show ends. It'll be available online at toysrus.com and then available at Toys R Us the next day. That's really the hook of the show that I was really excited about, which is because a family can sit at home, watch this show on Friday nights. The kids, all my friends' kids are in. You know, they love it already. They can follow the toy and hope the toy makes it, and then eventually they'll, you know, as rocket scientists, they call it from womb to tomb. So
if I go on how many shows have you done?
We shot 8 total shows. There's 7 shows and a finale.
So if I come on with a toy in the 7th show, and you've won 6 straight weeks.
Well, you don't stay in it. You just win your episode.
Oh, and then it comes the finale is what? There's 7 toys?
Yep, 7 toys. There's
1 winner?
1 winner. 1 winner gets the deal with Mattel. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, it's life-changing for these folks, and they you know, some of the ideas are great.
How'd you find the kids?
They cast the kids. One of the little kids is this little redheaded guy named Noah, and he was discovered on a news program talking at a fair, I think, and he kept saying the word apparently. Apparently, I don't watch the news, and Ellen DeGeneres saw him and brought him on the show, and he's unbelievable. And then the other kids, I think, auditioned.
This is like Master Chef or Shark Tank.
Yeah. Big, the movie Big.
How do you like hosting a show like this?
It was fun. It was challenging.
Not an actor.
Yeah, I'm not acting in the show, although sometimes I'm acting to hide how impatient I might be getting with some of the kids because they try my patience. But you know, I just have to walk away, breathe.
They vote for the toy, right?
The 4 of them make the decision. It's always not unanimous. So then, when they vote, sometimes.
What if it's 2-2?
It was a rotating series that each of them had a tie-breaking vote. So it started with the oldest kid had the first tiebreaker, and it moved down the line. So
have the toys impressed you?
Some of the toys have, yeah, absolutely. I mean, but Larry, it's interesting because, you know, I'm looking at the toys like a 45-year-old man and how I would have loved playing with that toy. And those toys aren't that interesting to kids these days. You know, and I would have to remind them, I'm like, wait a minute, I just saw you playing with that toy and having something called fun. Let's not lose track of the fact that you just did this and you were laughing and having fun and happy.
Where do you shoot it?
We shot it in New York. I think season 2 we'll shoot here in LA.
Studio audience?
No audience.
No studio audience?
No studio audience. I wish that. I've never done a studio audience show. I'd like to do a studio audience show.
That would be a good studio audience show.
Yeah.
Audience of kids.
Yeah.
What kind of toys are kids liking these days?
Well, you know, the toy that wins the contest, because I know the toy that wins, is very much on trend, and that's all I can say. It's something that Mattel was not surprised that the kids picked. It's something that they were happy. Toys R Us will definitely be happy with it. It's not like, you know, a toy like I had where I would, you know, do this and make this. It's kind of something different than that.
Did the inventor invent other toys?
I can't remember if he had anything else come to market or not, but when I saw it, because I meet them in the hallway and they kind of tell me what their toy is, and when I saw it, I did have a cool, this is cool moment, you know, because it is shockingly simple. and easy, or not easy, but simple in its makeup.
How many toys are on each show?
7. So 35 toys start the show, 1 toy wins the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fun, and kids are loving it. You know, but adults are, people are going either way on how much they like kids telling these people that have mortgaged their homes and spent their savings and these things like, you know.
And kids, being kids, are very honest.
Very honest.
Right? They're not diplomatic.
And they're not scripted. I mean, they have to say some legal mumbo jumbo at the end that's very specific for the competition, where they have to say something that's scripted. But other than that, they are speaking off the top of their head. We give them questions to ask, but they come up with their own, you know, questions.
They play with the toys.
They play with the toys. They have very strong opinions on it. I was worried that the boys would poo-poo all the doll type toys, but I was blown away. They were very respectful, you know, and they would say, I could see my sister playing with this.
Or the girls like action figures?
And the girls, you know, what I learned from toy makers is play is play. And when a little boy is playing with a doll and kind of making fun of the fact that he's playing with a doll, but yet he's posing it like a pirate on a chest, the doll maker, the toy maker is like, oh, see, he's playing with it. You know, they love that.
Sounds terrific. I'm going to watch it.
Thanks.
The Toy Box, Friday nights, 8, 7 Central on ABC. We'll mind the dark side of Eric's personality after the break. We'll also talk about strange jobs and fan encounters with Eric Stonestreet, my partner at Dodger Stadium.
That's right.
We'll be right back. We're back with Eric Stonestreet of Modern Family. They're going into their 9th year, if they sign a contract. And he's the host of The Toy Box on ABC Friday nights. You said in a recent interview that your personality is much drier and darker than the character you play on Modern Family. Will you explain? Well,
I mean, I have a dirty, dark sense of humor. I don't get to, I'm not a comedian. I'm not like...
You're a comic actor.
I'm a comedic actor. So I don't get to take to Twitter and Instagram and really say what I want to say like other people get to say things, because I am working for Disney, and I do have a conscience about that. So, and I don't think I'm at home writing these great, wonderful, beautiful Louis C.K. type jokes. So I don't know that it's really my place. But, you know, personally, if you're hanging out with me, I have
You've got a weird mind.
Yeah, I have a darker, stranger mind.
You wanted to be a clown?
Yeah, well, there you go, right there. I wanted to be a clown.
Are clowns usually have weird minds?
Well, I don't think weird minds. I always hated the word weird as a kid. I'll tell you that. I always thought weird, when somebody calls somebody weird, I always think, well, that's a reflection on the person calling someone weird, because I think weird is a lazy word. And if my parents had thought I was weird as a kid, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to legendary broadcaster Larry King, because they didn't tell me I was weird. They said I was creative. They said I was unique. They said I was different, and they encouraged that. And so I always hate it when I hear people say, oh, that's a weird little kid. It's like, no, you got to come up with something better, because weird is a pejorative, in my opinion. It doesn't encourage someone.
What makes a great clown? I interviewed, just as an aside, Emmett Kelly.
Oh,
he never
from
spoke.
Kansas, yeah.
He never spoke. Sweeping up, always began the circus, sweeping up the spotlight.
Yep.
What makes a great clown?
Well, your heart. I mean, a clown, that's what bums me out about this whole clown rage and people wanting to scare people, is because to be a clown and to want to entertain people, it comes from this great...
Do kids get scared?
Now they do.
Really?
Oh, it drives me crazy. Don't get me started on this, Larry.
Why would a kid get scared of a clown?
Thank you, but now it's a fad. In my opinion, it's a fad to be scared of clowns. It's like, oh, clowns creep me out. It's like, no, a clown that you saw in a Stephen King movie was scary. That doesn't mean that now all clowns creep you out. But now it's like a total thing to be like scared of clowns. I'm so scared of clowns. It drives me nuts.
When you're a clown on Modern Family, you having fun?
Oh, we have a saying on Modern Family. When you're happy, are you as happy as Stonestreet on a Fizbo day? Or happy?
Did you ever do birthday parties?
Yeah, I was doing birthday parties when I was 11 years old for 7-year-olds. Doing magic, balloons, the whole deal.
Little game of If You Only Knew. Childhood celebrity crush.
Oh, Heather Thomas.
Guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure, I mean, I don't know that I feel guilty about anything that I find pleasure in.
Okay, that's the dark side.
Yeah.
Something on your bucket list.
Something on my bucket list. I want to go to Vienna. That's where my family's roots are. I'm Bavarian and Austrian.
My father was Austrian.
Yeah, I'd like to go to Vienna.
I've never been there.
And I want to
stopped
go
at
at
the
Christmas.
airport.
Yeah.
Oh, Christmas.
Yeah.
Vienna Boys Choir.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Biggest risk you've ever taken?
Well, I think moving, from Manhattan, Kansas to Chicago and saying I'm going to be an actor and really not having any real reason to say that other than a few people, nice people in Manhattan, Kansas saying I was really good in a couple plays.
You a Jayhawk fan?
No, my
Kansas State?
Kansas State Wildcats. I thought we were friends.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Where is University of Kansas?
University of Kansas is in Lawrence.
Lawrence.
And Kansas State is in Manhattan, Kansas. The Little Apple.
Person you'd like to trade places with for a day?
I think any star football player. I mean, on a Sunday. Just to snap into his body and to be able to experience 65,000
Like a
people.
linebacker or a quarterback?
Linebacker, defensive end would be my first choice, yeah. Offensive lineman.
Sack people.
Yeah, I want to hurt them.
Who's a Modern Family co-star you'd like to trade places with for a day?
Ooh, trade places with for a day on Modern Family. Ed's got a pretty good. Ed and I's lives are pretty unique, uniquely the same. But his life would be good. Sophia would be fun, but she gets tagged by the paparazzi. So, but I would like to. I think I'd like to feel what it's like to be Sophia for a day.
Do you have a comedic idol?
Well, John Candy was my favorite. Benny Hill is no doubt. Tim Conway and Harvey Korman, no doubt, were people that influenced me. Carol Burnett. I didn't know I was being influenced by those guys when I was watching on Sundays with my grandma at her house, but there's no doubt they were teaching me.
What do you always find funny?
Awkward moments. I enjoy awkward moments.
Moment
people.
you knew you'd made it.
I think when Modern Family was picked up for the back nine, once we'd shot the pilot and did some episodes, and then once it was on and it was a hit, I could really then justify why the show would be on for foreseeable future.
Did you like then being recognized?
I did. I mean, I never really knew. That was never really part of my plan. I knew that if I was as successful as I wanted to be in this career, that would come along with it. I like being recognized the most when my mom and dad are with me. That is the most fun.
Is there a show you'd like to guest star on?
Well, I love the show The Americans. I love to be a Cold War spy of some kind. I'm trying to think of what else.
Want to do a serious role?
Well, I want to do something that shows what we were talking about a little bit earlier, that sort of darker side of my personality.
Strangest job you've ever had?
Well, I worked security in high school when I wasn't old enough technically to work security at a concert venue, and I saw a lot of boobs.
Oh.
At rock concerts.
Funniest fan encounter?
Funniest fan encounter, people calling me the wrong name. Someone called me Eric Strongcock one time.
Strongcock?
Yeah, and I didn't correct them. I was just like, yes, that's me. Hi, how are you? Good to meet you.
Best piece of advice you ever got?
Probably when I went to college, when I didn't know, I wasn't a good student, Larry.
Go to Kansas State?
Went to Kansas State. Went my first year to junior college to throw the discus. And then once I figured out I wasn't going to the Olympics, and I wasn't a good student, and I didn't know what I was going to study, and my mom and dad just kind of told me, go to college, that's for sure you're doing that, and then just find something you're interested in. And that eventually led me to where I am now. And then I think, don't hold yourself to other people's standards, because you never know what sort of standards people are holding themselves to.
What's something people don't know about you?
I, at the risk of sounding really dorky, and what I detest kind of when I hear actors say, is that I'm way more shy than people think that I am. Now that doesn't mean I don't have the ability to take a moment and deliver a joke and tell a joke or hold a conversation. But I'm at parties, I'm not the guy and I've never been that guy that's like looking for the center of attention. It finds me sometimes, and I can deal with it. But I'd much rather just observe and just be on the outside.
Because you're
and
an
I'm
actor.
Yeah.
Actor first.
Yeah.
Eric will answer your social media questions in our final segment, plus a look at life after Modern Family. And The Toy Box airs Fridays at 8 on ABC. More after this. Back with Eric Stonestreet, The Toy Box, Friday nights on ABC. Couple of social media questions. Win Share on Facebook. Were you funny as a child?
Yes, and it's been a constant quest for me to ask people that knew me when I was a child to figure out like when they knew I was funny, because I find that very interesting.
In school, were you a comedic? Were you in the school plays?
I wasn't in the school plays. I did want to be a clown. I was funny, but I was not the class clown. That wasn't me. I considered myself a little more precise with my comedy, trying to get teachers off track, trying to distract people, trying to do things like that.
Another Win Share. Who do you think is the funniest person on Modern Family?
So I think it's Sofia, because she, as far as just her ability to really understand a situation and boil a moment down. We have these group texts that honestly, we would probably get a big giant book deal if we would share our group text with people between me, Julie, and Ty, and Jesse, and Ed. And she always just is she's just always that, drops the bomb on the text that's always makes all of us laugh so much.
Is it a very happy set?
Very happy set. Very, people are shocked.
When you negotiate, does someone speak for all of you?
I think we all speak for ourselves.
You're all there at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all kind of have our own people doing it, but there's an elected person that's sort of doing it.
Are there lawyers there?
There's lawyers, there's agents, there's managers.
Is this going on now?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
is it taxing?
It is taxing. It is.
Bryson Knox, how has playing a gay character on Modern Family made you feel about the LGBT community and their struggle for equality?
Well, I mean, it didn't make me feel, hasn't made me feel much different than I did before. You know, I grew up in Kansas. I didn't really know gay people. You know, my cousin was gay. We always assumed he was gay, but he wasn't like out to us. And then when I started doing theater, I got to know tons of gay people. And it's really one of the reasons I became an actor is I showed up. I was a fraternity guy, showed up to do a play, and I was blown away by how much I loved all the people involved. And those people, you know, a lot of them were gay. So it hasn't changed how I feel personally about them, but it's definitely a responsibility that Jesse and I both take very seriously, that we love it when people see us on TV and can relate to us. Conversely, we hate it when people see us on TV and think because we're, you know, sort of bigger than normal or more passionate or over the top, that somehow discounts people that are like that. Because for years now, 8 years, people have come up to me and said, "Oh my God, you are my uncle. Oh my God, you're my dad. You're my brother. You're my mom." And I always wanted Cam to be person first, and their sexual orientation somehow shuffled down the list of what defines him.
Nathan Lane, your funniest guest?
Oh, I love Nathan Lane. I love Oliver Platt.
I did a scene with him in the O.J. story.
Oh yeah,
all those
that's right.
Emmys. Yeah, he played F. Lee Bailey.
F. Lee Bailey.
He's
great. Talk about a professional. Talk about somebody showing up and knowing what in the hell he's doing. He's amazing. But Oliver Platt has also become one of my favorite.
Oh, I love
He and I worked together on The West Wing when I was so excited just to be in Hollywood, and I'm like looking around, and I got teamed up.
You did a scene on West Wing?
With Oliver Platt. And so when he came on our show, I'm like, "Well, Oliver, you won't remember this, but about 10 years ago, you and I worked together." And he's like, "On what?" I'm like, "West Wing." So it's been fun to...
I did a scene with him in Bulworth.
Wow, that's right.
Funny scene.
Oh,
he was the manager of the...
He's incredible.
Daniel Christopher Thomas asks, would we know any of your classmates from Second City?
My classmates, I don't know for sure, but my level 2 teacher was somebody some people may have heard of, Tina Fey.
She taught you?
She was my level 2 teacher.
How do you teach improv?
Well, she was teaching sketch and character development. So she was my level 2 teacher at Second City in Chicago. But while I was there, you had people like Rachel Dratch, Tina Fey, Scott Adsit, Jenna Jolovitz, Scott Allman, Jim Zulvik, who passed away. Those were the people on the main stage, Kevin Dorff, who all have their own, you know, sort of successful careers writing and different things.
Was that special to Chicago?
Second City?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's amazing.
It's a Chicago humor. It was born there.
Well,
improv was born
it's satire. I mean, it is true, you know, topical satire. And when I was there, I was a host, so I would seat people and kind of pick up the dishes and stuff like that. And you know, if I would have stayed in Chicago, I think I probably would have made the main stage at Second City at some point. I don't know how long that would have taken. There were no guarantees. But I never wanted to be on Saturday Night Live, and I never wanted to be a writer. So that's really the track of a sketch comic, is you want to write and you kind of want to do SNL or write for SNL.
You did a lot of commercials, huh?
Over 100.
Anyone really famous?
Yeah, I did some good ones. I did a whole campaign for IBM that was very successful with the great director Joe Pytka, who is the king of commercials. He's won more Golden Lions in Cannes than anyone. I did a Diet Pepsi commercial with Bob Dole when he was satirizing the little blue pill.
He broke that on my show.
And he does a backflip on the beach, and then I'm the convenience store counter clerk at the end that they cut to, and it's like, are the revitalizing effects of Pepsi-Cola right for you? Check with your local convenience store counter clerk and start living again. I still remember it.
Great seeing you. Always great, Eric.
Yeah, thank you.
See you at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, I'll see you.
Eric Stonestreet, great guy, great guest, great talent. The Toy Box airs Fridays at 8 p.m., 7 Central. The season finale of Modern Family airs May 17th, both on ABC, and you can always find me on Twitter at King's Things. See you next time.